Hey, Colin Hiles here, aka the Mindset Guy, with today's training video, which is all about how to set goals that motivate. And although I've talked about setting goals before on my blog and on my YouTube channel, it's still a subject that I get a lot of emails on. So I want to clear something specific up in this video, which is how to set goals that motivate. And I'm going to share a model with you on how to do that and then give you something to do. But before I do, I just want to talk about goal setting in general, because I believe it is the master skill of all skills. If you're going to master anything, then master how to set goals. You want to get to the point where you set goals just like you brush your teeth and you comb your hair. It's that natural to you. And you know why? Well, if we want to realize our potential, if we want to actualize ourselves, then goals are what enable us to do that. You know, the reason that we set a goal is not to achieve the goal, but to become the person that we need to become to achieve the goal. So it's about becoming more than it is about achieving. And so, because you know, we could lose, if we set a goal to, I don't know, make a lot of money, we could lose the money, but we don't lose who we've become. That's more important than the end goal or the goal that we're trying to achieve. And at the end of the day, our brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. You know, if you go online and have a look, you'll see some people that do not believe in setting goals, right? They'll tell you do not set goals, they don't work. Well, if they're not setting a goal, then that's a goal. The goal is that I'm not going to set goals. In other words, you cannot not set goals. It's just the way the brain works. It's always striving. And I'd go as far as say, we're never truly happy unless we are learning and growing and developing ourselves into being more of who we truly are. And that's what goals do. They create creative tension, which I'll explain, that move us towards the achievement of self-actualization. So, and I was 22 years of age before I first came across goal setting and why it's important to set goals. And up until that point, I didn't have a clue. But once I understood it, my life has never been the same since. And you know, I truly believe I am where I am because of the goals that I set for myself. And you know, there's a simple saying, what you set is what you get. Some people just, you know, their goal is just to get by. That's what they'll achieve. Some people it's to make a living. That's what they achieve. Conversely, some people set a goal to become financially independent. Well, they stand more chance of achieving it. Some people want to run their own business. They want to become their own boss. They want to become an entrepreneur. Well, then they've got more chance of achieving it. So remember, what you set is what you get. Now let's talk about why don't people set goals? Why is it not typical, should I line up 100 people, that 100 out of 100 would have goals that they've set for themselves, all right, for their life? Yeah, they'll set specific goals for certain areas, like if they're going to get married, then you can be assured that that end goal will be perfect because of the goal that's been set and the planning that's gone around it, right? Or they'll set a goal to do up a house, for instance, or landscape the garden, or to go on a holiday. You know, so they're setting these goals, but not necessarily for life, the four big areas: health, wealth, love, and lifestyle. Now, why is that? Well, there's a number of reasons why, and let's just go through these very, very quickly. The first one is, I don't think most people realize how important it is to set goals. So as a result of that, they don't set goals. They might hang around a number of people, and I've talked about this in The Power of Association and last week's video as well, that if you're around 80% of the people that you're around don't set goals, your parents never set goals, then as a result, you don't see it as something that's that important. One of the reasons. Second reason is that for a lot of people, setting goals means to take full responsibility for one's life. And it's much easier not to take responsibility. It's much easier to blame and accuse or make someone else responsible for our lives. If you're going to set goals, you've got to become responsible. And for some people, that's a scary thing to do. Another one is that they just don't know how. You know, in all my education, I was never shown how to set goals, why to set goals, and what to do in order to set the goal. There was no lesson that I went to that shared how to set goals. So I just didn't know. And that kind of links, you know, to then I didn't make it important as well. Another one can be Feelings of low self-worth, and I've put 5 videos out on self-esteem, and it really links to this. You know, if somebody has low feelings of self-worth, you know, they have to look up just to see the bottom, then there's not much chance of them setting goals. You know, if they're, well, what's the use? You know, it'll never work for me kind of attitude means that they're not going to set goals. So, and that, you know, really do need to set goals if that's where they're at, but the chances are they're not. Maybe they were brought up in an environment that was all about, you know, bringing them down rather than building them up. So low feelings of self-worth, unworthiness, inadequate, I can't do it, sort of Danny Doormat or Dorothy Doormat mentality can be another biggie as to why people don't set goals. And the other one, the last one, which is probably the biggest one, is fear. You know, fear of rejection and fear of failure are the 2 biggies that people don't set goals. Because once you set a goal, well, now you've got to, you know, now you've got to step up. Now you may get ridiculed. Now you may be criticized. Now you may fail. Now you may screw up. And there's a high probability you will. In fact, there's a simple rule in being successful, and that is it's impossible to succeed without failing. You know, you give me one example of somebody that's doing really, really well that has never failed. You know, you go find them, and then if you find them, you let me know, because I've never found anyone that has succeeded at, you know, by their definition of success, that has not failed on the way. Success or failure is a prerequisite for success. We're going to fail. So there's just some of the things, and you know, just look around. You look around at, just take sport. Anyone that is at the top of their game, you're going to tell me that a gold medalist has accidentally arrived at winning gold? Someone, a football team or a soccer team or anyone in sport that gets to the top of their game, have they got there without setting goals, without having plans to achieve those goals? Have they had the cross-fingered approach? You know, hope, and hope's never a good strategy. I doubt it. Right? All of them are very clear on what it is that they want to achieve. So there's some of the reasons why people don't set goals. Now, let's look at how to set goals that really motivate. And here I want to share a simple model with you. So here we have from 0 to 10, this is to do with challenge or stretch. And then from 0 to 10, we have ability down here. And we have 3 zones that come out as a result of that. So if it is too challenging, and I don't believe I have the ability to achieve it, well, that's sort of the overwhelm zone. My brain instantly goes, BS, I'll never achieve this. And it shuts down, and I've really got no chance. Because then, as soon as that happens, it starts looking for, and last week's video was all about excuses, it starts making excuses as to why I could never achieve it. At the other end of the spectrum, where ability is very high but challenge is very low, well, this is the boring zone. You know, and many of us will find ourselves bored at certain times in our lives, in our professional and our personal lives, and it's because we need to be re-challenged. We need a new stretch, and it's all about finding that stretch. Because what was stretching at the very beginning, as we get better and we improve our ability, becomes easy, and then as it becomes easy, it becomes boring. Now, in between these 2 zones, we have the sweet spot. And this is where it's just about right in terms of stretch and ability. And if you set your goals in this zone here, there's far more chance of you achieving them. And if you set them here, there's less chance. And of course, this is where you're probably not setting goals. You need to reset a goal. You need to re-challenge yourself. You need to stretch yourself. Now, to use an analogy on this, if we take the, you know, elastic band, okay? So if this represents current reality and this represents desired reality, so right hand is current, left hand is desired, and then we've got this elastic band which creates the creative tension. Now, obviously, if there is no creative tension, this is boring. This is where there's no stretch. And of course, I could stretch this so that it snaps, right? And that's the overwhelm zone. So what we want to do is we want to get it just about right, where there's enough creative tension that pulls me towards the new reality. And as you'll see, as I pull towards it, it starts to go to the boring zone. So I need to re-challenge myself and re-challenge myself. And this is basically why goals are really important. And when you consider Let's take Steve Jobs. You know, how much creative tension does Steve Jobs create if you were working within Apple? Well, a fair bit, I would imagine. Or let's say Nelson Mandela, another example. How much stretch did he create? Quite a bit. Or Martin Luther King. I mean, there's loads of examples, could go on and on and on. But all of them created this creative tension. They set goals and then they pull people towards the achievement of those goals. So any organization that I work in typically will have a vision that they're going after and a plan to achieve that. The directors or the owners or the board of that business are very clear on that vision. And each of us need to have a vision for our own lives. We are our own leaders. You know, we're leading our lives, and for that we do definitely need a vision, and that vision comes down to setting some goals so that we can achieve those goals. So there we go. Here's what I'd like you to do then. 3 things. Firstly, draw this model up on a piece of paper. That's first thing to do. Secondly, if you have some goals, then map where your goals are. Just put a cross as to where your goals are in terms of, you know, this one is really, really stretching, but, you know, I believe I've got the ability to do it, or I might need to learn a little bit to get there, but I know I can learn, so I'll get it. Obviously, anything that's in here and here, you need to check out and see if you could change it. Because if I take, you know, earning $1 million or £1 million, for some people, all right, that is very much in their sweet spot. You know, I could earn that in the next year, no problem at all. That's their belief, right? For others, $1 million in a year is way in the overwhelm zone. The brains go, BS, you know, what are you talking about, you idiot? So they would need to then pull that million down into what they consider to be more achievable. Now, you, over the period of a year, you can obviously increase, because you might set the goal to make 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, whatever it is, and then you create that stretch, you start moving towards it, you realize I'm going to achieve this, well then you can, you know, add another 5,000, add another 10,000, okay? So you can always up the goal. Losing weight. When I set a goal to lose weight, I set a goal to lose 1 pound a week. That was it, 1 pound a week. Did I achieve a pound a week? Yeah. Have I achieved the goal, pound a week? Almost every single week I've achieved that goal. So it's for me, it sits right in the sweet spot. Some weeks I've gone way beyond it, no problem at all. So, you know, I'm going to adjust that goal now as I'm talking more about losing body fat. But that was in the sweet spot for me. So when you set your goals in this sweet spot, it's going to make a big difference in your ability to achieve your goals. So there we go. How to set goals that motivate, why it's important to set goals, and 3 things to do. So firstly, number 1, draw this up. Number 2, mark where your goals are. Number 3, recalibrate. If they're not in that sweet spot, how do you change them to put it in the sweet spot? So this is Colin Hiles. Thank you very much. Remember, please, please, please give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If you're on my blog, there's a space below where you can leave some comments, or you can, post this on your favorite social media platform like Facebook. But please leave a comment. Let me know. If you're in a rush, then just give me a score, 1 being not very good, 10 being really good, just so that I know I'm hitting the center of the target for you. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hold on, now did you enjoy that video? Well, if you did, I would like to show you how you can train your mind to perform how you want it to, so that you can break through to the next level with my advanced mind power training. It's totally free, and you can get it by going to www.advancedmindpowertraining.com or clicking on the link below this video. I'll see you on the next video.